Let's go fishing. I'm on a mission. It's so pretty, I'd sure hate to waste this chance. We'll find us a shady little spot, not too cool, not too high. Perfect for a little fishing and romance. Oh yes.
Yeah, guys, I gotta take in. Come on down here, Winnie. You come down here and sit beside me. Patch up some. What's the matter, buddy? Your leg hurting you? Patch up some net. My net here. Got some holes in my crappie net. Anyhow, used to do this with my hoop nets when I was catfishing. But hearing a lot of comments that the crappie are going, it's over this year, blah, blah, blah. It's not over. What's going on is Corps of Engineers are dropping the water down on this lake. And when they pull that water down like this, these fish get into survival mode. I heard the bass fishermen are kind of complaining a little bit too. But what happens is, when the water's coming up, the fish bite. And that's just Mother Nature. You know, water's going up over land and ground that's never been on, and there's a lot of feed and forming, and the fishing's real good. But when that water is dropping, like the Corps is dropping this Lake Okeechobee, fish get into survival mode. It's old Mother Nature taking care of them. But they think they're going to get caught up in dry land, and they pull back. They pull back into deep water. They pull back into the lake. That's just the way it is. You got to remember one thing: the Corps of Engineers does not care about the fishery. That's just, they manage the water. They don't manage the fishery. They just maintain the water. I know up in Kentucky and Ohio and West Virginia, the Ohio River, they dammed it up for boat traffic, so they could get bigger barges up there for the coal, to haul the coal. But when they done that, the water come up and turned it, well, to make a long story short, turned it into a sludge punch. All that river, all the Ohio River, they just killed the spawned up there. And it's the Corps, because the Corps of Engineers, like I said, they manage the water. They do not manage the fishery. And money talks first, guys. Always has and always will. They don't care about their natural resources. Man just does not, just. Now Canada, when I was up in Canada a lot, they take their natural resources very serious up there. Their fishery and their wildlife and their it's all of it. Their natural resources, period. They take them serious. United States never has. The lakes in West Virginia and Ohio and that surrounding area, and even down in Georgia and places like that, they built them lakes back in the 40s and 50s for flood control. And it's to manage the flood control, which when they drop that down, like in the fall of the year, they'll drop it down just like flushing a commode. A big old lake, they drop that down, and the fish go pull way back in deep water. Just the way it is. But yeah, the fish ain't going anywhere. The fish are still here. It's just that they're in survival mode, guys. In the last 3 or 4 days, the fish, I don't care, bass fishing and everything, got kind of a little bit tough. But it won't get any better until this water stabilizes, and that might be a while, because they're letting it out over in the Gulf and they're letting it out in the Atlantic. So anyhow, that's my opinion. Everybody's got one, like elbows or something else. This fishery, the fish are still here, but they just pulled back, and it might be might be a month, might be longer before it picks back up. I mean, it's just how it is. That being said, it's been a pretty good year for the crappie people down here. This year it started, it went late, didn't get really cranked up there till about December, but then January was pretty good, and February was pretty good. But then they, now they're pulling that water down. also down here, what I've seen is sugar companies, they play the puppet. They got the strings for the puppet. They pull the strings, guys, because they got the money, and whatever they need, they get, you know. Until you really get a government in there that's into fishing, and I've seen in the past, like a governor or congressman, senator that loves the outdoors and enjoys, you know, spending time in the outdoors to help maintain it. I'll give you good examples. Teddy Roosevelt. Man, what he done for this country was, you know, parks and just everything. I mean, anything to do with wildlife, fishery, or anything like that, you know, it was number one in his book. Until we get a guy like that, we haven't had a guy like that. Maybe George Bush Sr. He was an outdoorsman, and he didn't put on a show. He just liked to fish, you know, and but yeah. Now I'm not going to say, but the people we got in there now don't give a damn about the fishery. Our government does, and that's another drawback. Ain't nothing we can do about that. That just is what it is. Just got to ride it out to the next election. But anyhow, I'm not going to get into politics. Patching that open net there's a lot of fish, but they were starting to fall through it. But yeah, the fish didn't go anywhere. Fish are still there. It's just they pulled back. And another thing, I hear the bass fishermen. Bass tournament fishermen are their own worst enemy. And then I'll tell you something else. It comes back to money. It's been going on since Ray Scott started, you know, back in the 60s, late 60s, 67, 68, he started bass tournaments. You cannot catch a bass. You can't go out of Clewiston in a tournament. And they get 100, 200 boats. And these old boys now know how to catch fish on the nest. I mean, it ain't like it was back when they first got started. I mean, you can watch YouTube, you can watch how to and learn how to catch fish and jerk them off the nest. You can't go out of Clewiston in a bass tournament year after year after year, run up here to Okeechobee, north end of the lake, and jerk them fish off the nest, and take them back to Clewiston, and go up there and, hey, look at me, I'm a winner. And you know, it's the same thing up there. I mean, up here we run down to Clewiston, and hey, come back to St. Scott Driver and hold our fish up and say, man, looky here, I'm a good fisherman. You can't jerk them fish off the nest like that and run year after year, and just tournament after tournament after tournament, especially down here starting in January, February, March, on the prime time. Again, Canada, keep going back to Canada. Canada, when the hatchery, when the spawning season, they protect it up there. They close it, you cannot fish for them. They let them spawn, let them do their thing, and they got a tremendous fishery up there in Canada. The United States is about all the same, but Florida's about the worst when it comes to money. I mean, it's all about money, you know what I'm saying? But the bass fishermen are their own worst enemy. They're killing this lake too. I mean, they talk about high water, they talk about the spraying, they talk about yada yada yada, this and that and that. It's tournament fishermen. Tournament fishermen are killing this lake. I don't care what anybody says. It's not only this lake, but all the lakes up and down the East Coast. When the spawn's going on full tilt, and they're having them tournaments and jerking them off the nest, they're destroying their own fishery. And I've heard it time and time again down here, man, what happened to the bass? What happened to the bass? Yada, yada, yada. Where's the bass going? Well, you know, low water, they spawn better. And the cover's gone. Yeah, that's all. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Bass fishermen are just right there with the high water. They're with the sprayers and everybody else. The tournament fishermen are just as guilty as them about killing the bass here in Florida. I mean, as long as you keep having them tournaments, and they've been having them for, 40 years, 50 years doing this, it's finally starting to catch up. Science finally starting to catch up. Everybody's saying, well, you remember how it was 10 years ago? Yeah. I mean, there's, here on Lake Okeechobee, there's tournaments every day, almost every day here. And they talk about this, that, yeah. The thing about it, the guys are good. I mean, the guys are really good fishermen anymore. I mean, the young guns are really good at fishing. I mean, it ain't like it was when I was a young guy in the 20s and 30s. You had to kind of try to feel things out, and everybody was real secretive. It's not anymore. You got YouTube here, and you've got all these how-to videos, and it's just, and then you watch it on television, ESPN, BASS, and and Major League Fishing and all that, how them guys are doing. They don't hide nothing. They don't hide nothing. Yeah, what's destroying our fishery is tournament fishing. I don't care what anybody says. It's my opinion. It's my opinion. That's destroying our fishery, guys. So that's it. Crappie, I think dropping that water real quick, doing a hammer on it, and the other one is the bass fishermen are jerking the bass off the nest, and then another thing is in the summertime when it's 100 degrees, and I've seen this down here time and time again. The muskie, same thing. We up home there in June and July when it got real hot. We didn't musky fish because the hot water was just too hard on them. You might turn them loose and they go. Same thing down here with the bass. I've seen them kill them. I mean, the killing ratio on killing these bass in the hot time of the year, it's bad. It's really bad. That being said, that's my opinion on all that. Need to regulate these bass tournaments a little bit better, and that's my opinion. I mean, too many damn bass tournaments down here, but you ain't gonna do it because of money. And the crappie, I think the crappie, this is my opinion, I think the crappie ought to be a 12-inch limit. I got a 10-inch limit now, and it really helped this place. But I think Louisiana, Mississippi, I think it's 12 inches in some places, But yeah, we're our own worst enemies when it comes to fishery. Anyway, I got that net straightened up here a little bit. Oh man, it just looks like brand new, doesn't it, Winnie? Do you think it looks like brick? Come here, Winnie. Come over here and lay down. Come over here and lay down, buddy. Come on over here. Somebody got your. Yeah, you hurt your leg, didn't you? Or did you hurt your foot? Is there something on your foot? All right. Anyhow, that's my take. And one other thing, guys. I like these new Mafia rods. I got to get a little plug in here for these Mafia rods. These are nice. I mean, I'm jigging with them, and I'm gonna drop shot with them too this summer, and shaky head with them because they got the power back here. And just like I said before, you go through the handle, you can see that rod going right through the handle. And when you have your hands on there, it's right there on that rod. And when you get a real soft bite, you can feel it. But yeah, these Mafia rods, it's sitting up here at Gerard's Tackle. You need to check them out, see what you think about them. I got one, I'm sorry, I got them for trolling, I got them for jigging, and I'm also going to use one for drop shotting. So, all right, Cat Robin, over and out, guys, over and out. But the fish are still there. They're just pulling this water down, guys.